Chill Tales Audiobooks presents The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. In a special condensed version, enjoy listening.
The Fall of the House of Usher. It was a dark and soundless day near the end of the year, and heavy clouds hung low in the sky. My journey on horseback had been long and dreary, the landscape barren and lifeless. As evening fell, I found myself before the House of Usher, its oppressive silhouette mirrored in the dark waters of the Tarn. A sickness of the soul took hold of me at the very sight of the decayed mansion. The cold stone walls, the empty eye-like windows, the dying trees, an atmosphere of unrelieved gloom weighed upon me. It was not merely melancholy. It was an inexplicable dread, a horror without form, pressing upon my spirit. I had come at the urgent request of my childhood friend, Roderick Usher. His letter, written in fevered desperation, spoke of a malady afflicting both his body and mind. He begged for my presence, claiming I alone could offer him solace. The House of Usher, with its ancient lineage, had long been isolated, its bloodline narrowing through generations until only Roderick and his sister remained. There was an eerie sense that the house itself was bound to them, its fate entwined with theirs, breathing and watching, an ominous presence that seemed almost sentient. Upon entering, I found Usher much changed. His features, once memorable, were now spectral, his skin pallid, his luminous eyes sunken yet feverish. His every movement betrayed nervous agitation, and his voice trembled as he described his illness. He suffered an intolerable sensitivity to light, sound, and scent, and above all, he lived in constant terror of an unnamed doom. The house, he claimed, held a sentient presence, one that oppressed his very soul, whispering unseen things in the night, watching with unseen eyes from its towering walls. His sister, the Lady Madeline, moved like a spectre through the halls, silent and frail, her presence ethereal, slipping in and out of sight as though she were already a shade. Usher spoke of her malady, a mysterious affliction that stole her strength and left her insensible for long periods. That very evening, he confided that she had succumbed. With trembling hands, we bore her to the family vault, a cavernous chamber beneath the mansion, damp and airless. There, within an iron-sealed tomb, she was laid to rest. Yet, as I gazed upon her face, a strange suspicion stirred within me. Her cheeks still held a faint flush, her lips a ghost of a smile, as though she merely slumbered. Days passed, and a change came over Usher. He wandered the halls, muttering in a fevered delirium, his eyes hollowed by sleepless dread. The oppressive atmosphere of the house deepened. The air itself felt heavy, thick with unseen menace, a tangible force pressing upon my own mind. Shadows seemed to lengthen where no light should cast them, and the silence was punctuated by indistinct whispers at the edge of hearing. One night, as a storm raged outside, Usher entered my chamber with wild eyes. He led me to a window, pointing out the unnatural glow in the clouds, the way the mist seemed to rise from the lake, as if the very house exhaled its own decay. To distract him, I began to read aloud from an old volume of knightly deeds. As I recited a passage describing the forceful breaking of a door, I heard distinctly the sound of wood splintering within the house. I faltered but continued, reaching the moment where the knight slays his monstrous foe. A dreadful scream echoed through the halls. I looked at Usher. He sat rigid, his lips moving silently, his body quivering. "We have put her living in the tomb," he whispered at last. "Did I not hear her stir? Did I not hear her footsteps on the stair? Oh, she is here! She is at the door!" The great door burst open. There stood Lady Madeline, bloodied, spectral, her white shroud torn from her desperate struggle to escape the tomb. She staggered forward, uttering a low, inhuman moan, and fell upon her brother. In that moment of final horror, they perished together, she in her agony, he in his terror. I fled. The storm raged. The wind shrieked. As I crossed the bridge, a blood-red moon cast its eerie glow upon the house. I turned to witness a terrible sight. The great crack in the mansion's walls widened. The house shuddered as if in its death throes, the very foundations groaning. With a final, thunderous roar, the house of Usher collapsed, sinking into the dark waters of the Tarn. The lake, black and still, swallowed it whole, and as the echoes of destruction faded, an unnatural silence fell upon the land, as though the house had never been.